Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I thought I would share with you guys this DIY island that I redone. As you can see, I'm working in my kitchen. That was my husband. He's a little crazy. But anyway, I'm going to turn this island into what you are currently seeing right now, and I'm going to share with you guys how I did it. Okay, so starting off, this is what the island looked like prior to me doing any work to it. As you can see, there's water in the floor. I don't know what that was about. But we started with these 1x3s, and we went through and ended up trimming out the edges of the island that is currently there. And then I went ahead and while my husband was putting the 1x3s on, I went ahead and took liquid sandpaper to the front of this because I ended up painting the front of it kind of to go with the theme of the kitchen that I have in mind. Our kitchen is still a work in progress. As you guys can see, I have a lot of things going on in the background there. But we are currently working our way through our kitchen. The island was first in our kitchen. And as you can see right here, I just took some plywood, birchwood, like 4x8 pieces, and we cut them down into about 8-inch wide sections. And we just covered the entire the two sides and the back of this with the shiplap, and I am going through here and starting to paint it. This is the color charcoal. I do believe it is, well, we bought it at Walmart, but we get the paint that has the paint and primer in it. I can't tell you off the top of my head what that is, but I suggest that if you're going to go through and paint wood, that you should get the paint and primer in one. Yes, I did go back through and have to put 2 coats ultimately on this, but if the primer wasn't in it, I could see how I'd probably have to do 3 coats for sure. And I think the primer just gives it a little extra brightness because of the white that's inside there. So I highly suggest doing a paint and primer. I can't remember what brand that was that we used. But this color, actually, this dark gray color, this charcoal color, is on every accent wall in my home. So behind this island, there is a wall where my kitchen sits in front of, and that wall also has the same shiplap with the same color on the wall from the floor to the ceiling. And then I also have a wall in my living room that is this way as well. Eventually, I will put shiplap all the way, or this faux shiplap, I should say, all the way down to my hallways, and then I'll also have a wall in my bedroom as well that will eventually have this shiplap on it. We had bought the birchwood plywood. I think this is 1/2 inch maybe. Maybe it's 1/4 inch. This is probably a 1/4 inch birchwood plywood. We already had this on hand from when we did our wall in our living room and the wall in our kitchen from months back. This was before the price of lumber went up. So this material that you're seeing here is all from before the price of lumber went up. That's why we went ahead and did the island first, is because we already had it on hand. But I highly suggest waiting until the prices of lumber goes down. If you're watching this 3 years from now, you probably have nothing to worry about. The price of lumber is probably back down to normal. But plywood itself shot up. This piece of plywood should cost about, a 4x8 piece should cost about $25. But at the making of this video, I went to Lowe's.com, and this piece of plywood here is about $55 right now. So I would definitely just hold off on your projects until after the price of lumber comes down. If you're watching this in the time frame that I posted it, just because you can get this same project done for a lot cheaper if you just hold out and wait. I mean, it's not going anywhere, so you might as well save some money and not spend all the extra money just because of inflation currently happening right now in our country. But that is neither here nor there. So moving on, I used a little smooth roller brush to do the bigger pieces. I just find that that roller brush, that smooth, what's the name of that? The smooth roller. It's actually called smooth roller when you go in and are looking for one. It is made specifically for like wood surfaces and things like that. It just makes the patchiness a whole lot better. So in between here, I'm going through and I am making sure I get in the cracks real good. I like things to look semi-old, but semi like modern as well. So I, you know, am just painting along, painting along. Eventually, these floors that I'm sitting on is like that vinyl floor, and underneath that vinyl floor, guys, is the original hardwood that was in this house whenever it was built. And so I'm going to remove that vinyl flooring and redo the hardwood floors that are underneath it. These floors are the same in the living room. There's carpet over the top of it. So when I get the opportunity, when I have a weekend where I don't have to do anything, and I can just take care of both of these floors at the same time because they're adjacent to each other in my house, there is like a little half wall that separates my living room from my kitchen. But the floor is the same underneath, and they're gorgeous original red cedar flooring underneath there, and I'm going to redo those and stain them like a light gray color. And I'm more than happy to bring you guys along when I do that as well. And then this island will get picked up and moved back about 1.5 or 2 feet. I do not like the ratio of the cabinets to where that island is at. I feel like it needs to be even, and so I will correct that when we pull the floor up and we'll move it back. Also, what you don't see here is that if you've seen the kitchen counters and cabinets by where the sink is at in the beginning of this video, we are going to keep the cabinets for now, and I'm going to paint them all, but I am going to redo the countertops, and I'm going to redo them like butcher block style, but again, I'm going to be staining them a lighter gray color so it's not so overwhelming. You can see back there where the table is, how that wall back there is the same type of shiplap. I have those accent walls all throughout my house, like I had said before. So, yeah, I'm just painting along, doing my thing. This was not the easiest paint job that I've ever had. Like the paint kind of soaked in to the birchwood. So if you are going to be doing that, I highly suggest just, sometimes you can paint things with the paint and primer paint mixed together, and you really only need one coat. This was not the case with this because the plywood, I think, is a little bit more porous. I feel like it needed that second coat because it just kind of soaked it up. The second coat really did make the color pop and be brighter, if that makes any sense. So here I am going through, like I said, I went through here and I put liquid sandpaper all inside. Not inside, girl, because that's not the way we roll. I took liquid sandpaper and I cleaned off the front of these cabinets really, really well. And as you can see there, it does take quite a bit. I do believe that these cabinets ultimately took me 3 coats, the fronts of them, but I'm not willing to, spend $10,000 on all new kitchen cabinets right now, especially with the price that we have currently with, lumber and cabinets and those things like that. The price of those things are just outrageous. So I'm just going to make do with what I got. I'm going to be painting this island, the whole front of it, and we are going to put a second coat on it, and then we're going to put a third coat on it, girl, because that's how we roll, because I like things to pop, and ultimately now the entire bottom set of kitchen cabinets is painted. However, the part where I am at currently is I'm getting ready to do those countertops, so that will be a completely different video. I will share that with you guys as well. Depending on how well this video does, if I get quite a bit of people asking about how I did my countertops or interested in this kind of a video here on my channel, then I will go ahead and continue to do all of the pieces of the kitchen, because we are doing it in like 4 different steps, I should say. This was step 1. We will redo the countertops. That's step 2. We are taking, I have a set of upper cabinets that look just like this behind me from where I'm sitting right now, where that stove is above. I have a set of uppers there. I will be completely removing the uppers, and I'm going to be putting open shelving there, and putting a backsplash on that wall. So that would be step 3, and then the final step will be the floor. And I may end up doing the floor before I do the upper cabinets. We will see. It just depends on the kind of time breakdown that I have available to me as we move through, school starting, football season, the things that we do. In the fall time, it's a really busy time in my home. I don't know about anybody else's. Just the back to school routine itself is something that we have to perfect for like a month straight. I don't know what I'm talking about in this video, you guys. Like, I was talking to somebody while I was painting this, but I wonder what I was saying. That's my question. I muted over the whole video, and now I kind of wish that I didn't mute it. I kind of think I need to go back and get the original part of this video and see what I was talking about there. It might have been important to this video. Who knows? Who's to say? I did not appreciate these cabinets. Eventually, I kind of did this the hard way right here, but eventually, when I went to do the second coat, I did end up ultimately taking these drawers out because it just seemed to be easier. I kind of did this in a step-by-step process where I came through and I painted the whole fronts of everything, let it dry, and then I went back through and painted around the drawers and stuff like that, and then it just got to be too much. Okay, it got to be too much, friend. So what I ultimately did is I took all the drawers out, finished painting the background parts of the cabinet, and then I went back through, painted the background parts again, and then one more time, and then I put the drawers back in, and then I worked on painting the faces again, doing a second and third coat on the faces. And there you have it. That is that top to that island. I had somebody make that specifically for me for this island specifically. I had found a guy on Facebook, and he was making these like wall signs, and I reached out to him and I said, hey, can you make one really big so I can put it on the top of my island? And that's what we did. It did come with like wooden glued stars on there, but I took every single one of those off and hand painted every single one of those stars, and then we just epoxied over the top of it. And it turned out real nice and lovely. It is wood, and the red is stained red. And then I think he burnt everything and just made it look real lovely. So that is going to do it for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I really, really enjoy this in my kitchen. As you guys know, I am a big fan of our country. I love our country. I love our patriots. So I will never forget about the flag here in my house, okay? What they do for our country. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you like this video, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next kitchen DIY project. Bye, guys.